up? It's me, Audra. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I am glad you came. And if you are new here, well, you're in for a treat. All right, guys, so I decided to film a get ready with me fun story. I have been having such a hard time trying to film lately. It just felt like everything was a lot. I'm an essential employee. It has been pretty stressful going in and out of the world, and I just kind of wanted a moment to where I just wasn't really having to think about that. Maybe I thought about it anyway when we chat. But at the end of this video, I have something very, very exciting for you guys, and I hope that you try and you show up. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting ready to go out. What? Yes, we're going to get ready to go out. Why not? Can't we live a life where everything's beautiful and I'm going out with Justin Long,
my secret boyfriend?
We're not going to talk about that. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy this. If you have not already, before you even go anywhere, you may as well go ahead and subscribe, because now is the time to subscribe. Don't you want to be one of the people who got in on the ground floor? Not that ground floor. That's not used anymore. Sad face. And let's get ready with me. I'm going to be using some things that I just got recently in the mail, and I thought it would be fun to play with them. So I hope you have as much fun with me as I did creating this mediocre ass look. Alright, so I guess the first thing I'm going to go ahead and talk about today, which I started recording, I thought I was recording, and it didn't record. And I feel like this is Kate the Great's fault, because I just watched her video about doing this, and I made a whole thing about not doing this, and then now I did it. Anyhow, the first thing I'm going to talk about today is let me just start over. The parts that you missed were, I'm an essential worker. Shit's been stressful. Shit's getting real. I'm a little nervous about it because I still have to go out to work. And I am going to be doing a face full of makeup. Not full, but a lot of things that I have never had before. They are new to me, like the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. I'm very excited to play with this. I'm also going to be using a few other new things as we go along. I'll point them out. I'm not a person who really does hauls, but if you want to see a haul whenever I haul stuff, please let me know and I will do them. Most of the time, I just put stuff on my Instagram story and move on. I don't know why. I'm just kind of a weirdo about, like, I bought some shit and I don't really think anybody cares that I bought it. All right, so now I'm just going to stream of conscious and talk about things that have been going on that aren't about the thing. You know, I'm going to have to call it Voldemort now because it's the disease that shall not be named. So anyhow, I was wanting to talk about Sephora because I know a lot of people are, and I have a bit of a different take on it. And it's not that I'm a heartless ass bitch, so just stay with me on this. A lot of people are trying to boycott, and I don't boycott without doing a significant amount of research. Now, quick note, one of the reasons I do my makeup this way and do my eyeshadow like this on the corner is because I have bunches and bunches and bunches of little bitty folds all through here. If I try to use a brush to blend, it just makes a big muddy ass mess, so I have to kind of do pointillism, and then that's what works for me. So if you're ever wondering why I don't have like the big fluffy brush and I'm moving back and forth, it is not a friend of mine because of this
17,000 little folds.
Okay, don't look for them. All right. But I am very careful about deciding I'm going to boycott because I have to do a lot of research before I do something of that nature. And here is why. Because when I was 16, I was really, really excited. It was going to be the first Mother's Day. I think it was 16 or 17, I'm not sure. But the first Mother's Day that I could take my mom out with my own money. Like, she wasn't giving me money, and then I was like, I'm taking you out. No, it was my own money. Sorry. And I was really, really excited about being able to take my mom out with my money for Mother's Day. I was like, yes, beach, it's going to happen. And then I took her to Black Eyed Pea, and I was so excited about it. And they sat us in this weird spot. It was kind of like, it was in the back. So they sat us in the back, and we're just waiting and waiting for service, and nobody comes, and I'm just so upset. Moral of the story is we end up leaving, and I'm like, forget it. I'm never eating at Black Eyed Pea again. And I decided that right then and there. I'm not going to eat there again. Well, fast forward several years, and I start seeing, you know, gift cards and things like that. And that's when it dawned on me. I realized, because I was like, why would all these restaurants be together on a gift card? Because I was young. And what I came to find out was, of course, they're going to be all together on the gift card because they're
all owned by the same company.
Like the same major corporation owned all of those restaurant chains. And I realized that even though I was like, I'm never going to Black Eyed Pea again, I was still frequenting, I can't say the word, I was still frequenting restaurants that that company owned. So I didn't really make the impact that I thought it was going to make, but it did teach me something fairly important. And it taught me that in corporate America, boycotting is not as effective as I think that it is. So, for instance, before we get too deep into it, like Kat Von D, did she get canceled? Yes. KVD still exists, but KVD was never owned wholly by Kat Von D. Do you know what I mean? Like there was a company above it, which is actually the same company that owns Sephora. Moving on. Um, but that same company that owns Sephora owns Kat Von D. So like it's stuff like that, right? And the thing is, I do research now. If I'm going to say that I'm going to boycott a company, I'm going to do my research because I need to know what all I'm going to have to boycott. Because here's the thing, the conglomerate still owns all that shit. You know what I mean? Like they still own all this shit. It's not, they still have tons and tons of money. It doesn't change how much money they have. Like Sephora's not going to go out of business because I don't want to go there. And, I'm nobody. But then, like, the other side of it, too, is I realized, like, these are tough times. These are horrible economic times. I get that they said that they weren't going to do that. The trash guy's here. Yay. I get that they said they weren't going to do that, but I have been involved in this, and I think maybe some of y'all might be too young for it for the '06, '07 crash, but let me just tell you how that went.
Exactly like this.
Um, companies were told and to go reassure their employees because they needed to they needed to make sure, and they had every intention, most companies do have every intention of keeping everything good, keeping everything moving up until somebody crunches some numbers, and then it's like, just kidding, we can't do the thing that we thought we were going to do. And then it's like, so then the other side of it, I guess people were upset about, like, they didn't get to ask questions. Well, no, you don't really get to ask questions when they're doing like mass layoffs really fast, and they do it. It is always very impersonal, and it has to be that way. And I know it's super shitty, but that's generally how these kinds of things run. And they just is that's how it ran the last time I was in it. It just ran that way. It wasn't something that was like planned out to be impersonal or hateful. It's just like calls come down, accountants do their numbers and go, wait, hold on. And then they have to look at the whole picture and go, okay, but here's the thing, we can do this or we can do this. And then other people start chiming in and decisions get made. And end of the story is a lot of good people lost jobs. Now, when it comes to the boycott, I'm coming back to my story so that it makes a little sense. So I had to go do some research on who all, because I research now. I said that. I'm like, I had to go do my research on who all LVMH, I believe it's Louis Vuitton. I had to do research and figure out who all do they own. So I'm going to kind of look here right quick. Because when I started doing my research to be like, who all do they own that I have to boycott? So it's going to include, if you get jewelry from Tiffany, it's going to include that. Let's see. It's also going to include Dom Perignon, so you can't drink that. Hennessy, you can't drink that. Moet, I can never say that properly. I always want to say Moet because
Moet, Christophe Freeze, Laugh at a Tap.
Okay, that's probably true. Okay, rap songs. All right. Christian Dior, Emilio Pucci, Fendi, Fenty, Givenchy, Kenzo, Louis Vuitton, Marc Jacobs. So I just kind of started looking at this and realizing that there's like a lot involved. Not like I have money for most of these, but I do like Fenty. You know what I mean? Like I like Fenty, and I don't want to not have Fenty. So all of that really to say, I had to learn at a young age that simply deciding that I was going to boycott wasn't going to work for me. Now, I know that there's a lot of people who are sitting here and they're probably angry at me, and I'm not saying this to be mean. or hateful in any way. And I'm not trying to diminish people's pain. That is not what I'm trying to do. I am simply stating that I can't boycott this company and all of its subsidiaries. And those are only some of the ones that I was able to actually research. A large majority of these companies, they don't want us to know everybody that they own, and it gets very convoluted. And I remember this because I very much remember when all the stuff was going on with Colin Kaepernick. There were people legitimately out there saying that they weren't going to buy Nikes and they were going to get Converse instead because they were a better shoe.
Converse is owned by Nike.
So it didn't make any sense. I was like looking at people like, you do know. And this is why I bring up that boycotting is not as effective as it used to be, because in order for it to truly be effective, we literally have to boycott every single thing that the parent company owns. Because we don't make the impact that we think that we're going to make, because really all they would do, even if Sephora started going poorly because we did boycott it, all they're really going to do is open up another beauty store and they're going to name it something else, and we're not going to know that it's still Sephora. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what they're going to do. This has been going on for a very long time, and I don't mean to sound like, ugh, the world sucks, but like...
The corporate machine is out to get us.
But kind of it is. But I say this because, and again, I'm not in any way like trying to diminish anybody's pain. I'm just bringing up like the things that I learned, because I'm an old bitch, and I figure maybe if you're younger, you might want to hear from an old bitch who has been through this shit before. So the things that I start realizing, I need a lot of new brushes. We're not going to talk about this. I'm just going to use my brushes however the fuck I feel like it. I'm not a beauty guru. On this channel, we just like to put makeup on. I am not good at it. Okay, so the reason I bring all of this up is because I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with idealism, and there's nothing wrong with trying to like make a change, because obviously we should, and we need a lot of change in this country. But as a general rule, I gave up boycotting a long time ago, because once I started to realize that it doesn't do the things that I thought it was going to do, and also when I just kind of understood how many different companies are owned now by one company and you don't realize it, that's the hardest part, is how much we don't know that they are owned by, like, this company's owned, like all of these companies are owned by this one company. Because like you say Louis Vuitton, you don't really think about like anything other than, the handbags and shit. You don't really think about things outside of that. I didn't know until I did research on this and looked at it, that like Fenty is in that whole thing. So it's one of those things where I had to start realizing, like, at a very young age, do I want to make a difference? Yes, but I've got to find ways to make a difference that are going to be effective for me, because the current model is not effective for me. The current model is not effective for me because right now I am in a rock and a hard place, and essentially I have to deal with the fact that because corporations are allowed to buy and sell and not tell anybody, because that's the other thing, they don't have to tell us. They don't have to tell us. We don't really know who owns what anymore. And so I don't commit to a boycott until I'm sure that I can actually boycott, because there's no benefit to say I'm boycotting somebody and then I'm not. The other thing too is I also realize some other things about this is there's not a lot, like, I mean, even when everything gets, normal again, there's not a ton of places that we can go to get, makeup. I mean, I guess we could all just start stampeding at Neiman Marcus. I don't know who owns them, but we could all start stampeding over there and maybe wake them back up. But the point is, that's not going to be as much fun, because we just want a store that's filled with beauty. And Ulta just recently had to do the same thing. And it's very, very crushing and telling. And I'm actually quite worried about what's going to happen with our economy, with the way that things are going, like the world's economy.
The world.
I try not to think about it, though, because it's like mega stressful to think about, and I'm sorry if I just stress some of y'all out just thinking about it, but it does. I'm actually kind of concerned, because like this is an unprecedented event that the whole world is essentially shut down, and we really don't know. None of us have ever had to experience such a thing, so it's kind of crazy. So it's like, what do? I don't know. Stay in our houses, wash our hands. It's a good time. All right, so another new thing I got was the Muh Stay Woke Concealer. I did try using this earlier today. She's thick, so I got to be careful, so I'm going to be quiet and try to do this. Listen, I know I look crazy. We're not going to talk about it. And I'm getting back into putting my concealer on with a sponge again. I forgot how much I liked it over the brush. So anyhow, that's really my take on the Sephora thing. Like, I think it's heartbreaking. I think that it's, but it is what it is. This is capitalism at work, and um, it's not even just capitalism. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that how the corporate structure works, and that the system was never designed to care about the people. And I know that people will say, well, the CEO and whatever makes millions of dollars, and they should. That's not how the system was ever intended to work. And I get that there are those who are kind enough and care enough about their employees to do that and take those hits. There are even some contractual obligations where people can't do shit like that, but I don't know if that's the case here. But there really are some, they do some bullshit sometimes to stop people from being altruistic. Not saying that's the case here. But the whole thing is really just set up for the corporations and the people with money to win. It's not set up to help the worker. It never has been. I mean, it's just like we did have unions at one point, and they helped get us to where we had 40-hour work weeks and, that good shit. But, we don't really like to have them now because, your cousin Sal's a friend, Eddie's brother, knows a guy who is in a union and he doesn't do anything. That's how those stories really go, right? So it just, I hate that it's happening, but not like, but like, I hate it that all of this is happening. I keep hoping that more people will wake up to the realities of what a fully capitalistic society looks like, and kind of how in the US people scream a lot about not wanting socialism, up until
Capitalism is kicking their ass.
and then all of a sudden they're really into socialism. As soon as capitalism comes along and is punching them in the face, then suddenly it's like, what about us? So not to diminish how anybody's feeling or anything, but and use it as like, I'm a socialist platform, but in all seriousness, this is the kind of shit though. This is the kind of shit. And the pinky and the green? Okay. This is the kind of shit that keeps me in being like, no. That's the kind of shit that keeps me awake. Because I think that it's very interesting how people don't care about other people up until it affects them. And I think that that's one of the things, even with healthcare, we'll segue there, is that nobody ever cares about healthcare, and they're perfectly healthy until they're not healthy. And this is a weird time to talk about that, but anyways, I'm going to talk about it anyway. I'll talk about it in this realm. I used to ride motorcycles. I don't now, not because I can't, but because I don't have one. But I used to ride motorcycles, and I would find it so interesting how so many of the people I rode with would have such strong stances on not paying for healthcare and that they were healthy and all of this kind of good shit. However, let them get in a motorcycle accident, which some did, and I'm not wishing ill will on anyone. I'm simply explaining the story. My eye, which some did, and I found it so interesting how quickly all of these people had GoFundMe pages. So I just found it so interesting how fast these people, just were able to put together a GoFundMe page and wanted everyone to help them then. But when it came to actually voting to have health insurance so that next time they were riding and perhaps they got into a car accident, they wouldn't have to build a GoFundMe page, because that's the thing about health. It's like great until it's not great, right? So it was always very interesting to me, and I always tried to understand these people and would talk to them all the time and try to kind of be like, I'm not sure I understand what you're doing and why. Next up, this came in the fanciest box, and I just want to show it to you because, like, damn. This is the GRWM Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. And this is what it looks like. This is like the fanciest shit I've ever had. I don't know. No, I've had fancier. I did have, ooh, yeah, I think I had Armani. So anyhow, I always just found it very interesting the way that these folks could just had so much to say and were so eager to be like, I'm healthy though, and I'm a healthy person. And I was like, okay, but like when you're not, what's the plan there? And they're like, and I'm like, and they're like, and I'm like, and I think that's what bothers me is like, I feel like sometimes people want things only when it's convenient, and then when it's not convenient, like those same people who would talk shit about someone being homeless or poor, and they would also turn around and if they needed something, have GoFundMe pages and want people to help them. And I'm just like, how is it any different though? Like you had an option to do something to help yourself, and you were like, no thanks, and then like the rest of us are supposed to pick it up. I mean, that's how the system is supposed to work. Like that's a good way for it to work, so that you can afford to do fun things and have good hobbies and have fun hobbies and not have it be like a whole ordeal. But not these folks, not today. I'm kind of doing a weird application today. We're not going to talk about it. And I've realized I'm not going to fuck with these dips anymore. I have dips, and I used to do all this stuff to conceal them, but I'm tired of doing it because it's just a lot of makeup. It's a lot of layering that I'm no longer interested in. So that's that. But yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about that. I just really feel like if people could just understand that there's like really literally not that much difference between like me being poor and then like people who are actually living in the streets, like there's not a lot of difference, like because they're always saying these things to us like, oh, you need to be saving 6 weeks salary, and I'm like, with what money are people doing that with? Now, like, don't come for me because I know I just bought a bunch of shit, but if I'm gonna be real,
I wanted it.
I wanted something nice. I'm gonna do my brows off camera because every time I do them on camera, they become like two ugly cousins that hate each other and may have had sex. We don't know. We're gonna move on. So nice to have my eyebrows not be kissing cousins and actually be sisters. Okay, moving on. I know you're like, girl, you pale. I know. You know what though? I'm prepped though because this is gonna be my skin tone soon. We ain't gonna talk about it, but that's the truth. This actually oxidizes pretty well because I did get to try it one other time. I haven't gotten to wear it and do a wear test, but I did get to fuck with it a little bit, and I was like, okay. So yeah, that was fun. Let's get on a lighter note, shall we? I don't know if I have any more lighter notes. Everything's getting a little nutty in this world, and it's like hard to have that kind of predisposition of feeling like everything's gonna be okay. Especially in Texas. It's hard to feel like everything's going to be okay in Texas. Yeah, because the state is just like doing the least. Anyway, they're like,
Pandemic? What?
ooh, I love this blush, you guys. Look at it. Look at her. In the world of Audra, I kind of talked about this a little bit, but hauls and that kind of stuff. And why, I think I kind of figured out why I don't do them. So when I was a kid, I really don't know how to get into this. Like, I feel like when I was a kid, my mom was married. Well, she was married when she had me. I don't know how to say this. Let me figure this out. Let me just get all the blush on and then I can think. The most blush. All right. I'm going to dig. I've started really liking this Moonchild palette and like, I don't want to talk about it, okay? What I'd actually like to do, if you've made it this far, is get a little lighthearted and fun. So one of the reasons I want to do this, and I'm hoping that in the description, I put something about how we are getting ready to go out, guys. We're getting ready to go out. And you're like, go out, bitch, we can't go anywhere. I know. Not real out, but like kind of out. So I want to talk to you guys about this fabulous, fabulous thing that I have experienced. I experienced it last weekend, and I'm going to experience it again this weekend, and I hope that some of you would experience it with me as well. Now, you're like,
Girl, I'm interested. What do you mean?
so here it is. There's this DJ. Her name is DJ She-Rock. I will have her information below. And I'm like right in your face. And what she does is she spins live on Instagram. She does her Instagram lives and she spins, and it's amazing. And it's so cool when she does this. And she does take Venmo, but that didn't even matter. Okay, so if you have money to give, but it's fine. That's neither here nor there. I want to talk to you about why I'm getting ready, because I am going to look fine as fuck for my in-house club. So what I'm doing is, after last weekend, it was so amazing. It was like almost life-changing for me because we've all been isolated. We've all been stuck in our homes. It's been pretty miserable not to even be able to do just like the simplest things. And for me to be able to kind of turn around and have this like amazing Friday. So essentially, here's what happened. Nappy Headed Hoba T recommended, and she was telling us that we should go and check out DJ She-Rock. I'm afraid I'm going to break this more. We're not going to talk about it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm fine. Like, I'll go check out a DJ. Who cares? Like, it's not going to hurt anything.
It was transformative.
Okay? Transformative. And by that, I mean, like, I kind of cried a little. And as a Taurus, like, we don't cry. I kind of cried a little. The release, we were all in the chat, and like we were doing cute ass shit. Like people were being really, really cute, just talking about like, oh, I'm getting drinks next, and we were like acting like it was like we were at the club. It was amazing. I really wish that there was a better way for me to describe it, but it made me feel for like 5-7 minutes that I was not like stuck by myself inside. And as an introvert, it is hard for me to say,
I kind of want to hang around some people.
all right, so like don't start smiling to yourselves being like, told you. No, you didn't, because I like to go out and see people when I want to, and I haven't been able to go do that. I normally do it at least once a week. And the thing was, I kind of forgot that she had told us and said like, hey, do this thing, and I was like, da 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 da, and I was just kind of hanging around. And she said something about this the week prior. And still, I was refusing to listen. We're not going to talk about it. So I went, and guys, the transformation I received from this was just, like, unreal. Like, I was just like, oh my God, this is glorious. I was like, bitch, why didn't you tell me it was this awesome? We were all in there. We were acting like we were giving each other, like, buying each other rounds. It was pretty glorious and gorgeous. I know I'm doing this in whatever order I feel like doing it today because I'm going out to my club and I'm hoping that you're coming. But, you know, maybe you can give me a makeup tip while you're there. It was just like transformative. Transformative. Like, there's not another word for it. The release that I had, the dancing, like I danced. Like, and I hadn't danced like that in a really long time. Like, I was just out, like, dancing and having this, like, just this beautiful moment with all of these people, and I couldn't see them. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I guess your show, Love is Blind, like, I couldn't see them, but it was phenomenal, and we were all, like, at one and having a great time, and it reminded me of, like, my young raver days when I'd be, like, rolling ball,
We're not going to talk about that life.
But it did. Like, it was just like everybody was one. We were all having so much fun. It was so glorious and so beautiful. And it was just nice to hang out with a large amount of people, even though we weren't together. I say large. There was like 30 or 40 of us. And I just think that it was amazing. And I think that you should come. And if you weren't getting ready with me this whole time, you're going to look a mess when we get to the club. I'm just telling you. You're going to look a mess. Look, it's not brown anymore. Anyway, I thought it'd be kind of super fun to get ready with you guys and just talk about things, and that's why I'm doing it. And I thought we could all just like, see, I told you that there was going to be positivity at the end of this. So the reality is, we're going to go dancing. And I think what's amazing about this whole thing, whether you actually go or not, it's up to you. I'm going. This feels like the wand got weird. We're going to just pretend it didn't. We're going to see what happens here. But it is a cathartic thing. I got a little sobby. I got way sweaty dancing. So, I got a little bit of a workout in. I met a lot of people that I don't know but had fun with. And we all just kind of laughed and cried together. Like I don't know. A lot of people were. It just felt very spiritual. That's what I will say. It felt very spiritual. It just felt for a moment that like all of this stuff wasn't happening, and there was like a brief feel for a second where it was like, we're not in this mess. Everything's great. I'm going to the club. I'm going to the bar. And that's exactly what it felt like. It just felt like I was going to the club. I was going to the bar. I was going to have a good time. And, enjoy all that the clubs and the bars have to offer. I wasn't going to be at home. And I wasn't, like, it just, for just a little bit, it was like I wasn't home. So tonight, I got, like, fucking mascara on my face. Anyways, tonight, what I plan on doing is, like, clearing, like, dance space. And I'm going to also put on like a badass outfit. So anyway, tonight I'm gonna clear space, and I think I might even put up like a line or something, and like not let Bo in. Like he can't come to the club. It's my club. So I'm thinking there's a few things that like I might do to make it just look a little bit more exciting. And I'm gonna get dressed up, and I am gonna post. I probably, like, I don't even know. I'm going to just post, like, looking fine as fuck for no reason. And that's the other thing. I want to see you guys. Like, I need y'all to start posting your fine AF photos. Like, fine AF for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for us to be this hot. We just are. So, like, let's start doing it. So, my challenge is, and my question is, if I can swing it, not every Friday, but like every other Friday, would you guys want to get together and get ready like we're going out to the club, like we're a bunch of girlfriends having a good time? I'm also trying this, or using this Colored Rain Affluence lipstick. You guys are about to gag. You're gonna gag. This is gorgeous. Watch. All right, listen. Don't make me go get the Milani gloss and just turn this way the fuck up, because it's about to get nasty for y'all in here. It's gonna get nasty. All right, so my curls are popping. Y'all, come on now. I'm going out, and I'm gonna look amazing, and I hope that you guys are coming with me. What do you think of the finished look? What do you think of the finished look? What do you think of the finished look? Is it all right? Did I do okay? Do I look like a monster? All right, guys, that is it. That is the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like it, if you need an experience, come hang out at Instagram Live. I'll have the information. If you're feeling excited, you need a little bit of transformation, you need a little release, you need to dance, you need to have some fun, come hang out. She does take donations if you have it. If you don't, just come anyway. Come for the experience, come for the community. DJ She-Rock, it'll be in the description here. Go check. All right, and then I guess until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening to me rant and talk and whatever, and I will see you tomorrow, where we're going to go live. All right, guys, thank you. Have a wonderful day. I love each and every one of you. And until next time, deuces!